Imagine descending into crystal clear water, surrounded by vibrant coral reefs, colorful fish darting past you, and an overwhelming sense of weightless freedom. That is the magic of scuba diving. But here is the truth: most beginners do not realize until they are already underwater. The gear you choose can make or break that entire experience. Welcome to today's video, where we are diving deep, literally, into everything you need to know about scuba gear. Whether you are just starting out or looking to level up your underwater adventures, we have got you covered. We will walk through essential beginner tips for choosing the right equipment, avoiding common rookie mistakes, and keeping your gear in top condition. Plus, we will explore some genuinely exciting advancements transforming the scuba world right now. Because the right gear does not just keep you safe, it completely transforms how you experience the ocean. Let us get started. Now let's talk about the first piece of gear every diver notices: the mask. It seems simple, but choosing the wrong one is one of the most common beginner mistakes out there. People walk into a dive shop, spot a mask that looks incredible, and buy it purely based on looks. Big mistake. The most important factor is fit. To test it, press the mask gently against your face without using the strap and inhale through your nose. If it stays in place, you have a solid seal. If it falls off, move on. A poor seal means constant leaking underwater, which is frustrating and distracting. Now, fogging is another beginner struggle. Before your first use, scrub the inside of the lens with toothpaste to remove the factory coating. After that, always use proper defogging solution before each dive. Remember, comfort and function always beat style when it comes to your mask. Now that your mask is sorted, let's talk about keeping your body warm underwater, because thermal protection is a game changer for how long and how comfortably you can dive. The basic rule is straightforward. Wetsuits work by trapping a thin layer of water against your skin, which your body then heats. Dry suits, on the other hand, keep you completely dry by sealing out water entirely and using air or undergarments for insulation. For water temperatures above 24 degrees Celsius, a 3mm wetsuit is usually enough. Between 18 and 24 degrees, go for a 5mm. Below 18 degrees, consider a 7mm wetsuit or make the jump to a dry suit. Fit matters enormously here. A wetsuit that is too loose lets cold water flush through constantly, draining your body heat fast. Too tight, and it restricts breathing and movement. Getting your thermal protection right means longer dives, better focus, and a far more enjoyable experience overall. Now let's talk about one of the most important pieces of gear you will wear underwater: the BCD, or buoyancy control device. Think of it as your personal flotation system that lets you control whether you sink, rise, or hover effortlessly in the water column. By adding or releasing air through the bladder, you achieve what divers call neutral buoyancy, that magical feeling of weightlessness underwater. For beginners, getting the fit right is everything. Your BCD should feel snug but never restrictive, with no excess movement when inflated. Before every dive, always check for leaks by fully inflating it on land and listening for escaping air. Here is a pro tip most beginners skip. Practice inflating and deflating your BCD in a pool before heading to open water. Knowing exactly how your BCD responds builds muscle memory and confidence, making your actual dives significantly safer and far more enjoyable. Now let's talk about one of the most critical pieces of gear you will ever own as a diver: the regulator. This is literally the device that delivers breathable air from your tank to your lungs, and understanding how it works is absolutely essential. Your regulator has two stages. The first stage attaches directly to the tank and reduces the high-pressure air down to an intermediate pressure. The second stage is the part you actually breathe from, reducing that air further to match the surrounding water pressure. Before every single dive, always perform a pre-dive regulator check. Breathe from it several times, listen for unusual sounds, and check that airflow feels smooth and consistent. Here is a pro tip that beginners often ignore. Do not cut corners on your regulator budget. This is the one piece of gear where quality directly equals safety. A well-maintained quality regulator from a reputable brand can last decades and will never let you down when it matters most. Now let's talk about one of the most important pieces of technology you'll strap on your wrist: the dive computer. Unlike static dive tables, a dive computer tracks your depth, bottom time, and decompression limits in real time, adjusting calculations as you actually dive, not based on a theoretical profile. This makes them significantly safer and more accurate for modern diving. For beginners, setting up your dive computer correctly before entering the water is essential. Always ensure it's fully charged, set to your preferred units, whether metric or imperial, and configured for your gas mixture, typically air at 21% oxygen for new divers. When reading your computer, focus on 3 key displays: current depth, no decompression limit, and remaining bottom time. Entry-level options like the Sunto Zoop Novo or Cressy Leonardo offer excellent reliability without overwhelming features. Mid-range computers like the Garmin Descent MK2 add air integration and advanced planning tools as your skills grow. Now let's talk about 3 pieces of gear that beginners often underestimate, but absolutely should not: fins, boots, and gloves. Starting with fins, you have 2 main styles to consider. Open heel fins require boots and are ideal for shore diving or cold water environments. Full foot fins slip on like a shoe and work great in warm, tropical waters. When choosing fins, think about blade stiffness. Stiffer blades offer more power but tire your legs faster. Softer blades are more forgiving and energy efficient, which matters a lot on longer dives. Proper fin technique is equally important. Using slow, controlled kicks from your hips rather than frantic bicycle kicks conserves energy and keeps you moving efficiently through the water. As for boots and gloves, they are essential for cold water diving, providing thermal protection for your extremities. Gloves also protect your hands near rocky surfaces and coral reefs, helping you avoid accidental contact that can damage fragile marine ecosystems. Now that we have covered all your essential gear, let us talk about something that many divers overlook, but absolutely cannot afford to ignore, and that is proper gear maintenance after every single dive. The very first thing you should do after any dive is rinse every piece of equipment thoroughly in fresh water. Salt, sand, and chlorine are silent destroyers of scuba gear. Soak your regulator, BCD, mask, fins, and wetsuit in fresh water for several minutes, then allow everything to dry completely before storing. Speaking of storage, keep your gear out of direct sunlight and away from extreme heat. UV rays degrade rubber and neoprene surprisingly fast. Always inspect your O-rings before and after dives. These tiny rubber seals prevent catastrophic air leaks, and a cracked O-ring costs almost nothing to replace, but can cause dangerous equipment failure underwater. Neglecting maintenance turns minor issues into expensive repairs. Well-maintained gear consistently performs better and lasts significantly longer, protecting both your wallet and your life. Now let's shift into something truly exciting. The future of scuba gear is already arriving, and it starts with what you see through your mask. Smart dive masks with heads-up display technology are changing everything about how divers experience the underwater world. Imagine swimming through a coral reef and seeing your depth, air supply, water temperature, and dive time projected directly onto your lens without ever glancing down at your wrist computer. That is exactly what augmented reality dive masks are beginning to deliver. Companies are developing masks that overlay real-time dive data seamlessly into your field of vision, keeping your eyes where they belong, on the ocean around you. Even more remarkable, some systems are being designed to identify marine life automatically, displaying species names and information as creatures swim past. Navigation assistance is also being integrated, helping divers track routes and return to entry points with far greater confidence and precision underwater. Building on those incredible smart mask innovations, let's talk about another game-changing advancement making waves in the diving community: rebreather technology. Traditionally, rebreathers were reserved for military and technical divers due to their complexity and cost. But that's rapidly changing. So how does a rebreather actually work? Instead of releasing your exhaled air as bubbles, a rebreather recycles that air by scrubbing out carbon dioxide and replenishing oxygen. The result is dramatically extended dive times, sometimes 2 to 3 times longer than conventional scuba setups. There's another beautiful benefit here. Without constant bubble streams, marine life behaves far more naturally around you, creating genuinely magical underwater encounters. The exciting news for recreational divers is that newer rebreather models are significantly lighter, more compact, and equipped with intelligent safety monitoring systems that alert you to potential issues instantly. Manufacturers are prioritizing user-friendly interfaces, making the learning curve far less intimidating than previous generations of this remarkable technology. Building on those rebreather advancements, let's talk about 2 more innovations changing the diving world. Underwater propulsion vehicles, or diver propulsion vehicles, have traditionally been bulky, expensive tools reserved for military divers or technical professionals. But compact, affordable DPVs are now hitting the recreational market, allowing everyday divers to cover greater distances underwater without exhausting themselves. Imagine gliding effortlessly over a reef system that would normally take multiple dives to explore. On the wetsuit side, fabric technology has taken a massive leap forward. New materials like graphene-infused neoprene and aerogel-based linings are delivering superior thermal protection at a fraction of the traditional thickness. What once required a 7mm wetsuit can now be achieved with something far thinner and more flexible. This means better freedom of movement, less fatigue, and easier packing for travel. These next-generation materials are genuinely making cold water diving more comfortable and accessible than ever before. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into scuba gear. From choosing the right fitting mask to understanding buoyancy control devices, regulators, dive computers, and thermal protection, the fundamentals truly matter. Getting your basics right from day one sets the foundation for a lifetime of safe and incredible underwater adventures. The future of scuba gear is genuinely exciting. Smarter technology, safer systems, and more sustainable materials are reshaping what is possible beneath the surface. Augmented reality masks, accessible rebreathers, and next-generation wetsuit fabrics are no longer just for professionals. They are becoming part of every diver's world. Our advice is simple. Start with quality basics, maintain your gear religiously, and stay curious about what is coming next. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe so you never miss our latest content. Drop your favorite dive gear tips in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. Happy diving!